2, 1, let's jam.
And boom! What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back, goddammit, to another edition of Tell Me a Joke, the guy down and chasing the dream. I'm your host of Maniacal, Menace, Kyle Smith. Say the whole thing like a pimp named Slickback. And today, goddammit, on the podcast today, we have the lovely, the journey of the poet, the mother, the writer, the therapist herself. If you got trouble, she can help you get out of that bind. Put y'all hands together for Poetic Journey.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because some people's like, don't say my real name. It was like, oh, okay.
It's cool.
Okay.
You can say my real name.
all right. But yes, how are you doing?
Hey.
What's happening?
What's happening?
That's it's been a hell of a day.
Yes.
It's been a hell of a day.
Yes.
Yeah. So how things on your end been?
It's been good. I have been bouncing off the walls.
Yeah. Why so?
You know, like I just feel like anytime it rains and then like the sky is clear, it's always good. Like I get a lot of energy from that. You know, I'm like, man, everything is clean, everything is pure. Like, what's gonna happen next? We're gonna get some sun.
Energy is a good thing. I've been one of those people that I pick up on energy really good now, and I'm finally able to like actually deduce what is what when it comes to certain energy fields that I get. Like that's it took some time. It took some time. Like I didn't notice what I was feeling in the beginning, and so now like that I know certain energy fields and like how certain things feel. Like I'm able to approach a situation differently now. Like so when you perform, like do you feel the energy of the crowd?
I do. But you also, I feel like as a performer, you also have to read the energy of the other poets on stage. You know?
Right.
And I feel like, and you know, we've done that. You know, like we've gone to a place and we've had some pieces in mind. Like, okay, I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna, you know, try and freshen up on this piece, or I'm gonna try this new piece out. But then you see the crowd and you're like,
ain't gonna work it. Yeah. That's just like comedy, same thing. Yeah.
Or you see like, you know, like you see that there's a constant theme going around, and you're like, oh, okay, well, the piece that I had in mind to do is this theme, but I'm gonna switch it up a little bit.
I'm gonna switch it up. Yeah. It's okay, and it's okay to do that. Sometimes I kind of beat myself up about like what I should be doing. Like, you know, especially when I go certain places, I'm like, maybe I should practice on this and maybe I should work on that. But sometimes it just feels right in the moment. Yeah.
Gotta trust your gut.
Yeah.
Intuition.
That's a big thing. That's a big thing you need to learn as you try to chase a dream. Oh boy, because that intuition and that gut, if you don't really follow it, you can really fuck over your life.
Yeah. But sometimes though, and I've seen you do this, but sometimes like, you know, you follow the energy of the room, but I've seen you do this often, is like you create the energy. Like there's been like a lot of like serious poems, and then I might switch it up and do like, you know, something just to, you know, whatever I'm feeling, or just trying something new. And then you'll come in and like, because your poetry is so different, like, you know, like the comedy and the poetry, and both of them are so different from the other. So when you do comedy, there's enough poetry in there that it stands you out from other comedics. And then your poetry is so different. It stands out from other poets, you know, like, and when you get up there, like you create your own energy. Yeah. And I love that.
I realized that I had to do that because when I go in those environments, I understand that everything's about to shift when I get up there. Just for the fact that like, okay, I know that what you heard was a whole bunch of sad and maybe very touching, you know, type of material. But what I'm about to bring you is about to be totally left field. You know, might talk about your asshole real quick in the poetry scene. You know, so I have to preference that. It just so people be on board. But once they're on board, they you know, I always look in the faces of people, and then you see your doubters out there, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
All right, whatever. Like, how poetic and funny will this be? And then they notice and they're like, dude, that's
dope.
That's fucking good.
You remember the first time like we met and I saw you perform, and it was like everybody doing like it was like everybody doing like music performances. And so it was only like a handful of poets there, but you came in and I was just like, oh, okay, you finna do poetry. He was like, ooby dooby dooby. I was like, oh snap.
So many people bring that up, like they like, oh my god, do the doobie doobie.
Yeah.
Or do the one with the peas. Like Kanai was like, do the one with the peas. I was like, I don't know if I have one with a lot of peas. You know that one where you were like pee 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 pee. I'm like, oh man, what is she talking about? I'm like, oh, doobie doobie doobie. Okay, yeah, I see. You know, I realized that.
Ain't that crazy though? How like people pick up your poems different. So like you're talking about doobies, and she's like, do the one with the peas.
Yeah, because like I realized that if you only hear something one time, something will stick in your head. That is very repetitive. But other than that, it's not like you remember that the next time you see that person. You barely remember that person because it's probably your first time seeing them.
Yeah.
So in my head, I have to be like, nah, man, it's cool, man. It's cool to go ahead and practice new shit or practice the same shit that you've been working on. Just because like most motherfuckers don't know that you did that or even remember that you did that. So it's just like, okay. And then some people ask for the same shit, and that's always so weird.
I am people.
Yeah.
I am people. But I've told you, you know, like you've come to be one of my favorite poets, you know, because it's so different. And like I've heard some of your pieces and like I might not know the titles of them and I might not know like word for word, which I shouldn't, you know, but there's certain pieces that stand up and I'm like, remember you said this, that poem, that line from this, and I'm like, that one. And I'm like, this guy is cold.
That's why I gravitate towards like-minded people that also like write from the heart. Because like I write some silly shit, but I mean it a little bit.
Yeah,
you know, and like with your work, just for the name of it itself, Poetic Journey. Like like I love how somebody can actually pick their name or like devise their name together to what they do, and it's like, oh, that fits perfectly. Like my homie Joking Word. Like I'm like,
that's great.
Being somebody that does comedy poetry, and then seeing somebody else that also does a similar thing to what I do, but in a smoother sense. Because it's actual, like he's telling jokes, but like spoken word, like
okay.
And I'm like, oh, nigga, you know, it's like, oh, bitch, that's good. Oh, nigga, that's good, son. You know, in my head, I'm like, damn. If I would have just sat down and thought about it for a few more hours, that whole match of that wordplay,
Joking Word,
it didn't dawn on me.
Your wordplay is crazy.
It's so good, and he is exactly that. Like his wordplay with shit is phenomenal. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So to see when you get on stage and then you take me, like I'm a person that I am big on imagery and description. So if you can describe something to a detail to where I'm like, oh, I felt the person next to me. Like I felt as if the person that you were speaking of was standing right here. Like I could smell what they smell like, and you know, I see how they walk, like everything, just down to the little detail. And I'm like, oh, that's a poet right there.
Yeah.
Like, I get nervous because
Goosebumps.
I can't. I feel as if I can be very descriptive, but I can't. I want to be able to get into that lane to where I can take somebody through like the fields. You know,
but you do.
Yeah, I get it.
But your thing is like, don't think of it as you don't take people to the fields, because you take us through the fields. But your thing is, it's like we could be walking through the fields and you'll be showing me something, and then like all of a sudden you're like, look at me. Ha ha ha! Like, joke, and it's like it was like, oh, we're not getting sad, we getting silly, you know, like because sometimes even like one thing about poetry is like sometimes even really good stuff, even beautiful stuff, can make you sad. It can make you sad because I'm like, damn, this is good, really good. It's so good, and it's like a melancholy, like it's like the good sadness, you know. And so you're like, hey. Spitting fire on this.
A good sadness makes you feel warm in the heart. Like,
yeah.
and I wanna assume, because I do make assumptions. I want to assume that the way your poetry is because you're also a therapist. Like you're more of you're a deeper thinker than most people, just because you also have to psychoanalyze other people and you deal with other people's emotions. Yeah. So you're able to tap into all types.
You know what though? That's not it.
No.
The journey. So I'll tell you about my name in a second, but the way that I come into like the description and the way I write my poetry, it comes from the heart, but really what it is because I experienced something and I can't get it out of my head. So if something keeps going, like if, my mom used to write poetry too, but she said that she stopped because she was like, I didn't like what I saw. Poetry makes you see what's really inside of you, what you really feel, what you really think. And she said, I didn't want to see myself on paper. Oh. Yeah. So she ran from that. But she told me, she was like, don't run from it. Embrace it. And she told me poetry is when your heart speaks. You just have to listen. Ooh. And so like, if there was something inside of me, like sometimes, how you just hear like a word or one phrase, or something, like, with a masterpiece, I just kept hearing like, you are like art to me. Yeah. And it was something that somebody said, and I was like, damn, that's deep. Like I'm art. She stuck with you. Yeah, and I kept going with it, and I was like, why don't I look at myself like art? And so that poem was me trying to like see myself as art. And then I'm like, and I got to see all these other women as art. And why don't, and those questions. Now, the questions that I ask myself come from being a therapist. But the journey is actually because like I'm experiencing a memory or I had an experience. And I'm like, let me take you on what I felt. Yeah. And I'm going to show you how I got to this deep conclusion of something. Because, every poem has like some greater meaning, like a lesson, mine do. Yeah. And that's how that came about. Now, my name, Poetic Journey, came from an experience I have yet to write about. I don't know how to write about. I just feel like, whenever God give it to me, I'll get there. But it came from that experience. And I prayed one day and I said, you know what, God, this may be a hard life, but it's a good life. And I am sorry if I'm not loving it enough. And, I'm going to just ride this journey with you. And then I thought about it like, man, it's kind of a good journey like this. Yeah. It's, it's kind of poetic. Yeah. Yeah, It's a beautiful journey, a poetic journey. And there it is.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah. That's dope. I like that. Yeah. What are the questions you ask yourself to?
For like poems?
Yeah.
So it just depends. So like a masterpiece, I heard you are like art to me. And I was like, damn, like, am I like art? What is art? And I'm like, I could be art. And I'm like, dang, why have you never thought of yourself as art? Like I think of myself as valuable. Yeah. But I've never thought of myself as like art. And I thought about it like, dang, like art is valuable. Art is so valuable that like Jay-Z could never make a record, and all the art pieces he owned, he could sell, and his children's children will still be very, very rich because that's how valuable it is. He's got art pieces that is priceless, And so I was like, dang, so I don't know. It's in therapy, we call it Socratic thinking, Socratic questioning. So it's not questions to get you to just answer. It's questions to get you to think about why you would answer a certain way. Oh. Yeah. So like
that's like opening another door. Exactly. Like, oh, you thought this was just it? No. Did you look to see what was on the other side of the wall? I'm like, no. There's more doors, nigga. It's like, oh,
like 5 other doors back here.
There's so many different ways to do this. Oh my goodness. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it's kind of like, and it's sad, but I do it to my son a lot,
Yeah, but he's gonna but see he's gonna grow up to be right. Like,
hope so.
Well, either that or just
that's the plan.
Be able to get through life with deductive reasoning and not, be able to surpass other people that don't think like he would.
Yeah, but I mean, even so, and I'm still, I could be a therapist, but I still have a lot of questions about a lot of things. But like Socratic thinking, Socratic questioning. So like, we went to the aquarium. Mm-hmm. He was jumping up and down the little step part to help them see into the tanks. Mm-hmm. And I was like, hey, don't be playing on that. You're going to fall, and I kept saying it every time we went to the next, tank and stuff. And he just kept jumping on it. And I was like, you're going to fall. You're going to hurt yourself. Mm-hmm. After a while, I said, you know what? Look, you fall, you're on your own. I already told you, you're going to bump your head. That's you, Yeah. So sure enough, after I stopped saying it, he fell. Yeah. And so he's crying and, stuff like that. And like, I had to start giving him Socratic questions. So I had to say, why are you crying? And he's like, oh, cause you're mean. He's just giving me all these different answers. And I'm like, no. And I let him answer. I'm like, hey, no, you're crying because you fell. Mm-hmm. You're crying because you fell. He's like, I did fall. And I'm like, yeah, you did. I saw you. You forgot about that part. You think about all that other stuff that happened afterwards, He's like, you didn't hug me. You yelled at me. I said, all I did was, I told you, And so he's like, no, I was like, no, you're crying because you fell. And he's like, I did fall. I was like, yeah, you did. Did you hurt yourself? He's like, my knee is broken. And I'm like, oh yeah, but you just walked in here, so like I think it's working. He's like, but it hurts, and I was like, oh, okay. Do you want me to kiss it, make it better? He's like, yes. And so I kissed it, and he's still sad. And I'm like, are you okay? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, why are you still sad? And he's like, I'm ready to go home. I was like, well, why you want to go home? Because you're mean. And he starts going through the list of stuff afterwards. I was like, no. I was like, you're ready to go home because you're upset. I was like, you fell. You hurt yourself, and mommy didn't run to help you like I said I was going to. But I told you I wasn't going to. I warned you. I said, but you fell, you hurt yourself, you cried, you had a moment, but now it's over. Like we don't have to go home just because you hurt yourself. Mm. We could still have fun. Were you having fun before you hurt yourself? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, you did. We could have more fun, like that. It was a moment. But it's done, like, let's go have some more fun. He's like, no, I don't want to. I was like, well, how about we take a break and then we go back and have more fun? Like, you want to take a snack break? You want to relax for a second? Yeah. I'm like, okay. But the point of the story was the Socratic thing, like even the Socratic questions is like, it's not to give you deductive reasoning, because even though he had a reason to cry, he fell.
Right.
Like, I don't want you to be like, I got a reason to cry. I'm not going to cry. Like, I want you to still feel it. I want you to have your moment. I want you to go through that whole process. But the most important part of the Socratic thinking and the Socratic questioning is, after you went through all those moments, don't let that one moment stop you from going forward. Because there's still a whole aquarium that you haven't seen. We still got 2 more floors to go up, Oh,
shit.
Yeah.
How I applied this to my comedy life and just life in general as an entertainer?
Yeah?
Yeah.
How?
Like, just because, like, I'm feeling shitty because, I'm not doing like I used to. Like,
what?
Yeah.
But you're not supposed to.
But I thought it would always be fun, but sometimes you need to take a snack break. And
okay, wait. So are you not doing like you used to, or you're not feeling like you used to?
No, I'm not doing well, back then, basically I was out every day of the week, basically doing but I understand it's not going to be that anymore. But, okay, so I guess I'm not feeling like I used to. Mm-hmm. I'm not feeling the feels that I used to feel when I would go out and do comedy. Mm-hmm. Like, it feels different now. It doesn't feel as fun. It feels like, I probably need a break, or, it's okay that I stumbled upon, whatever I've been doing. Mm-hmm. And it, just like you were saying, like, hey, there's still more aquarium, man.
Yeah.
yeah, it's all right. You know, you don't have to go home now, because there's so many times that I was like, man, fuck this aquarium. I want to go home. I don't want to do this no more. You see, in my head, that's why I'm like, man, fuck this aquarium. I'm going home.
Yeah,
I ain't gotta be here no more. Yeah, like this ain't.
But this is I'm so glad I told that story, because this is perfect. Like, I'm finna therapy you a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Don't be scared. So when you started doing comedy, what was your reason for doing it?
Somebody told me I was funny.
So you was just doing it for the hell of it, right?
Yeah.
So you was doing it to have fun.
Yeah.
Just for the fun of it. And it felt fun.
Yeah.
But now you're doing it now because you know you're good at it.
Yeah.
You know you're funny. You know that you can do more. So now you're taking it seriously, right?
Yes.
So now you're doing it from a place of seriousness. So why are you surprised that it feels serious?
Yeah, I guess I'm not surprised, but yeah, I just don't. The feeling that comes with it now, I didn't expect this to be carried over from, you know.
Well, it's because now you're expecting an outcome. Before you were doing it just to do it, and now you're doing it and you're like, I'm putting something into this so I can get something out of it.
Yeah.
And so now you're serious if there are not outcomes that you expected.
Ugh. I can't say anything about that. That is so true. Oh my God. There's nothing to rebuttal against that. Nothing. That is exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I have in my head. I just couldn't put it into words. And it's like,
shit.
Oh, fuck. All right. Yeah.
But think about this. So it's the same thing. My son doesn't know what an aquarium is. He's 3, you know? I said, hey, let's go. It's going to be fun. He's like, it's going to be fun. I'm like, yeah, we're going to see a bunch of animals and fish. You know, he's like, okay. And so he goes and he's having fun until he's not.
Yeah.
You know? So he stumbles a little bit, right? You say you stumble. Yeah. Something happened.
Yeah.
And then he's like, this don't feel fun no more.
This don't feel fun no more.
And
right.
you said I had to take a break, you know? You said that, right?
Yeah.
So me and him took a break. He had some popcorn. We looked at the skyline and stuff of the city, you know, like, just leisurely hanging out. And then I'm like, hey, you ready to go back? But now he's doing it with a purpose. He's doing it now to get through it because he knows there's more floors and more levels he's got to go. There's more stuff he's got to see. There's more fish and more attractions and more interactions that he has to deal with. There's more things for him to, you know, actually touch and feel and do. He knows now that there is a purpose for him being here, and it's going to be fun, but there's a purpose for him being here.
This hurts my head how much this applies right now.
I know.
Oh my God. That is really good, because that is exactly what I'm looking forward to. I'm like, man, I seen the big tank up on the second floor. I know what it looks like. I just couldn't touch it. The first time I seen it, I was behind the ropes and they wouldn't let me in. But I know at some point in time, if I can get on staff, I can go behind the scenes and see what the hell going on. And it doesn't take much. I just got to keep going.
But you know, I'll say this: there's parts of the upper levels that you see and that you have not seen, and like you said, if I could just get there and I could just touch it, right? That's what you said. I'm so glad I told that story.
So good.
We're gonna get into real therapy.
Yeah.
Okay. There's parts of the aquarium that were on the second floor that he was meant to see and not meant to touch. He was meant to experience, but he was not meant to take and carry with him. Like you said, if I could see the staff and stuff, right? What did you just say?
The staff. If I can get on the staff.
If you can get on staff. Yeah. Okay. Now let me say this. There was this giant whale display hanging from the top 2 floors. It started from the ceiling and went all the way down the top 2 floors, right? So the part where we stopped at and the other 2 floors that were above us, it was from there, from the ceiling to there. So we literally was at the beginning of it. And it was hanging in the middle of the aquarium, and like the stairs and the walkway went around it. Now a whale, right? It's bones. Like this is like a dinosaur whale, right? So it's shaped funny, but I'm like, this thing is fucking huge. You know? Can I cuss?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So many times.
Fuckity fuck. No, I'm just kidding. But there was this dinosaur whale, right? And it was just hanging. Now, it was not within reach, But what it was meant to do was to show us how massive and how large this ancient whale was, right? And it was to show you what was in the past, how big you could get, how big fish could get in the past, right? But the whales of today are bigger than that. We couldn't touch it physically. It was too far out in the middle. But it was to show us a replica of how big fish used to be and how much bigger the fish are now.
Yeah.
So you are seeing your past, like the potential. You have the past to look at for potential, but also to understand that you could be so much bigger than that. So it's there for you to see, but you're not supposed to touch that.
Yeah,
you know?
I like that.
Yeah. Now,
I like that.
you said if I can get on staff. Now, we saw some staff too. There was this one aquarium and Kaden was going crazy for it, right? Because they were scuba divers in the fish. Now, from the very first floor we were on, you could look down and see this tank, and the tank went up the wall all the way to the very top, right? And so some fish were swimming down. Now, when we got to the top, it was like sharks, like sharks, and there were some stingrays in there and just all these different fish. But the scuba divers, by the time we had made it through the aquarium, we'd been there like 4 hours. Like the scuba divers went in because they go in like every 4 hours.
Yeah.
And so they were in there and they were waving at all the kids and stuff. And, just think of you, Kaden is you, right? Yeah. So Kaden's looking, he's like, Mommy, there's a person in there. I didn't get in there, Mama. Yeah, he's like, oh my God. Like, what's on his face? What is that? How's he swimming in there? And I was like, it's a mask. He's scuba diving right now. Yeah. The fish is going to eat him.
Let's go get him.
Yeah. And I was like, what? No, so in reference to you saying, like, if I could get on staff, they were in there.
Yeah.
They were a part of the show.
Yeah.
But you know what they were doing? They were cleaning up. Oh. They were in there just cleaning up all the fake plants because the fake coral and the fake plants that were in there couldn't actually sustain and help keep the tank clean. So it was just collecting algae, and eventually it would have made the fish sick. Yeah. So every 4 hours, 2 people had to go in there and scrub all those plants. Oh. Just scrub them, like scrub the whole tank. And literally their only job was to swim with the fishes, wave at kids, and scrub the tank. So
yeah, you think that they're doing good on staff.
Exactly. See what I'm saying? You gonna get to the top and you gonna see some people on staff.
Oh,
you gonna think they doing good.
Yeah.
But they just here cleaning up.
Yeah.
Getting you ready to get on there.
Oh, okay.
They not the main attraction.
Come on.
They not the main attraction.
What do we do? You know what I'm gonna name this episode?
Aquarium.
No, it's I was thinking about it. I was like, this is gonna be Poetic Journey, the aquatic personification. Yeah. I thought about it. I was like, oh, this is good. This is good. You see, this is what substance does to you.
This is substance.
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, this is exciting. I know somebody that looks like that.
I will say this. Now, you did ask me, like, you wonder if being a therapist, played a part on, like, how I write poetry and stuff. Yes. I will say that. I will say no. But I will say that being a poet helps with therapy. I am
really?
Yes. Oh, how? God, yes. I am able to simplify any situation and pull someone out of themselves to help them reflect on something. It's hard. So the hardest part about therapy, and I know this for a fact, therapists make terrible clients. We make terrible clients. We all have our own therapists. I promise you we do. Yeah. We do.
Yeah, how does that? I've been watching Shrinking. How does that work?
Yes. Oh, we make terrible clients. But the one thing that I will say that therapists are great at, and one thing that poetry really helps me do is like it helps me personify things and simplify things in a way to where you can reflect on it, but it doesn't make you defensive. People have a hard time accepting like truths or things that you tell them directly, which is why in therapy we don't just say like, oh nah, you are a man eater, like, you know, or like you are a womanizer, like, you know, little stuff like that. We can't directly say those things, you know, unless the client asks for it. But
I get you.
But so we use Socratic thinking, and we use like metaphors and personification and things like that, because it helps you lower your defensive shields. And you're more receptive and more open to seeing something if it's not directly feeling like it's being talked about you. So like I'm talking about my son in the aquarium, but you're like, damn, that's exactly how I feel without saying it. Like, but it makes you think about it. Like, damn, that's not me, but I could see myself in that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm like. Oh my God. Like I'm putting myself in the kid's shoes. I probably could fit his shoes too.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just like, man.
Yeah. But because think about it. Like if somebody be like, you ugly, and then you go walk in the mirror and be like, I don't know what the fuck she talking about, bitch. I'm fine. Like, you know, like you're defensive. You're like, I don't know what she saw. She saw something else because it wasn't me. You know, like it's like that. You know, it's the same thing with therapy. Like somebody tells you like, hey man, no, I think this might be the problem. You're like, nah, that's not it.
How do you stop that?
What you mean? You can't.
It's just I've always thought because. Not to be so defensive. I've never wanted to be so defensive about something, especially when it's something that other people saw and it's like, oh, more than one person came and said this. It's like, you small. It's like, nigga, I'm not small. Whatever, nigga. I'm nice of height. I'm a nice height.
I tell people that all the time. I be like, ain't shit little about me. Ain't shit little about me, okay? But I don't really think of it as defensiveness. I don't know. I have a way, maybe I'm overly optimistic. I have a way of like taking negative things and trying to think of it like positively. So I really feel like defensiveness comes and all shots out to Sarah Jakes, because
shout out Sarah Jakes.
Sarah Jakes Roberts, because I went to a conference she had, a women's conference, and she said in it, she was like, I'm real defensive and I'm real petty, but I'm only petty because I have to defend myself. And she said, but I'm defending myself because I feel like you don't understand me. So I feel like defensiveness comes from like the want and the desire to explain yourself. Like you don't really understand why I'm doing something. So let me explain it to you. Like, because you think you know, but I'm going to tell you what it is, because that's not it, you know?
You're not hearing me.
Yes. So I think defensiveness comes from like that feeling of like, I'm being misunderstood right now.
Right.
Even though it does make you defensive, you know? Like you get defensive because you're like, if you don't understand me, then I'm not trying to hear nothing you're trying to say. But it's not anything.
How am I supposed to get this across to you?
Yeah.
If you don't really vibe with how I vibe.
Yeah.
Whew.
Well, I'll say this. I know.
Jesus.
What, right now?
No, I'm just saying. I'm like, wow, all these things, because these are thoughts that probably just skim through your head. But as I think about it now, I'm like, these are things that I on the conveyor belt as they come by, I stop by and I pick it up and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Like, hold on, this is interesting. Like, whoa, this is like a dodecahedron or something. You know, I don't know how. Like, there's so many sides here. Like, I want to understand it more. You know, put it down because you see something else interesting coming. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah, that's the hard part about therapy. It's parallel. So as you go through things, we have to deal with our own shit at the same time, and it looked like we not dealing with nothing. It looked like people like, you're judging me, and I'm like, no, I'm trying to deal with my shit over here. I
always wanted to know this. How do you deal with what we started on with energy? Like, how do you deal with all of the energy that gets brought to you?
Good question. What do you mean? Like, how do I handle taking it on?
There's that too, but there's definitely got to be an energy that stays with you when you leave.
Oh yeah, sometimes.
How do you deal with that? Like, how do you shake that off?
So just depending.
Separate the two.
Yeah, it's hard because, believe it or not, and I can't speak for every therapist, right? I deal with different energies that come in because you got to think about it. Out of 8 hours out the day, I probably see about 6 people, 45 to an hour long a day, right? Yeah. So about 6 people a day, sometimes 7. And you got to think therapy, they're bringing out like, hey man, sometimes it's like the worst of the worst, some stuff that you can't even imagine. And sometimes they want to talk about it. They want to relive it, piece for piece. So when you deal with those different energies, the one thing I have to do is you have to have a very good self-care life, Yeah. You have to have a lot of good boundaries for yourself. You have to put those boundaries in place before. So like you do all your consents and stuff when you first start therapy, but I also have to tell people like, hey, like I tell people all the time, like one of my boundaries is I have a weak stomach. Yeah. So if you want to relive something, you can, but don't go into graphic details about blood was splurting here and stuff, because my mind is so vivid, I could see it and I'm gonna throw up. Yeah. Or like, okay.
Sames.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I got a weak stomach. So that's one of my boundaries. I'm like, hey, you don't have to go into details. Like you can tell me how you felt, but don't tell me what you saw. Right. And then also, so good self-care, good boundaries. Like I said, because it's parallel, you deal with stuff like you have to be in check with yourself. I know that there's certain things I still can't deal with. One, because as a therapist, you have to know, like, am I going to be able to provide you the best care? And if I'm not competent enough on what you're bringing to the table, I cannot give you counsel on it because I don't know enough to fully give you good counsel. Because even in, I'm very spiritual. So the Bible even says like, like you seek wise counsel, And so I try to be wise counsel. You've come here for whatever reason it is, to vent, to complain, to get solutions, to work, process through some emotions, right. Or even just to have somebody to just listen because you don't have anybody else to support you in your life, whatever reason. But I can't give you wise counsel if I don't know anything about it. And I'll say, hey, look, I really feel like this is out of my expertise, but I know a person. And if I don't know a person, let me help you find a person. So trying to be wise counsel, having good self-care life, setting up those boundaries in place. And then lastly, when you have those energies where, like I always say it's hard to work with kids because kids often feel like they are there out of their control. Like they're not there because of their own wants and desires. Right. So it's hard for me to work with children because of that reason. So I have developed a saying is you meet the patient where they are. You meet the client where they are and you don't work harder than a client. I'm like, hey man, this is your life. This is your situation. I can't do everything for you. I will guide you. I will help you. But dealing with those energies, I try to tell people it's almost like a GPS. I said, when you get in the car and you say, hey, I want to go to McDonald's. I'm like, okay, I'm not the keys. I'm not the gas. I'm not the passenger driver. I'm not even the car. I'm the GPS and you the driver. You tell me where you want to go. I'm going to show you how to get there, And if any point in time you decide you don't want to go to McDonald's no more, you want to go to Burger King. All right, boop, boop, boop. Okay, changing directions. We going this way, But I am not going to motivate you, which is the gas. I'm not going to help get you started. You got to start yourself. Yeah. I'm not the car. Yeah. You got to figure out your own transportation. I'm just the GPS. I'm going to show you the roadblocks that's going to be up ahead. Yeah. I'm going to tell you if it's some police out there doing speed checks. I'm going to tell you if that road is blocked and you got to go a different way. I'm going to tell you how long it's going to take to get there and help you find out a reasonable path. That's it. That's all I could do. I'm not McDonald's. I'm not going to be the reward at the end of the day. I'm not the destination. I'm not the
X marks the spot.
Yeah. I'm literally the eye in the sky.
Yo, that's dope.
Yeah.
Come on. I've when I was little, I was actually recently talking to a friend about this as well. I was diagnosed with ADHD. And,
same.
So this is like, I did have to go to a therapist, or I had to see a shrink. Had to see a shrink in the beginning just to see what was up. And that's like I never understood why I was there. I just understood that I had to be there. Like I understood that I was different from the other kids, but my parents didn't understand why I was different. They didn't understand because back then people didn't know. It's like, oh, you just hyper.
Yeah,
he can't learn. He can't sit still.
Yeah,
but now they see me do amazing shit, and it's like that's what it was. You you needed a different outlet.
Yeah.
Like, I tell people now, I hate to read, but if you read to me, I'm all in it. Like, I can retain information better if it's read to me instead of me having to read it myself.
Yeah.
And seeing the shrink, she was like, so what's the problem? I was like, nothing.
I didn't know I had a problem.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. She's like, so what you think about? I was like, hey, I'm thinking about everything. There's a whole bunch of things I think about. I'm always thinking about things. She's like, well, how do you feel about it? You think about it? I was like, sometimes I get upset when I can't think about the certain thing that I want to think about. Something else pops in. There's so many ideas. She was like, well, why don't you just write it down? I was like, oh.
That makes sense.
I ain't never thought of that.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I've been writing in little journals and shit. So I've always had a thing for writing. But, whenever it came to people telling me to do something that had to be completed or something I had to do something that didn't pertain to me having fun. I was like, nah, I'm good. But I was also like a 3.5 average student. Like,
Jeez.
I was very smart, but it was just, I didn't want to apply myself to shit that I didn't give a shit for. Yeah. So, like, I'm starting to amaze myself now by all the things I can memorize and how quickly I can do that. And I was like, I thought I was a fucked up kid. I didn't, nobody told me that this is what this was for. If I just applied it to the things that I liked, that I can actually, gain something, or I could teach, or it could be a different way for a kid to pick up on certain things. Yeah. Like my friend was talking about, he's teaching a child who has ADHD, and he's like, I don't know. He's more of a slower person. He takes things step by step. He sits down. He reads things, and I'm like, oh, nigga, you trying to? That's that ain't like gonna work. Talking to me, nigga. I'm gonna be all over the place. I'm like, no, that's not gonna work, man. You're gonna have to. Like, I told him that I used to go to this place called Sylvan's Learning Center. And
I love them.
And when I went to Sylvan's is the only
are they still open?
I don't know. I
were
think it's
great back in the day.
See, the thing was, like, I didn't give a shit for school. I still don't give a shit for school. I hate learning. I hate doing that shit. But if there's a prize at the end, bitch, you got me.
Reward.
You got me.
Ding, ding.
You give me a reward? I'll fucking learn anything. And I realized that if I am striving for something, then I can easily put my mind to what I gotta do. Right. Like, if I know there's an outcome coming from it because of how my brain works, like, I'm gonna definitely want to, if it's something that I don't want to do, but I know, you gonna give me something if I do it? Yeah. I'll do it to my best ability. And I'll give you some great shit, But yeah, if I gotta do it on my own, you want me to die? I'll come and fucking wing that shit and then ace it and be like, oh shit,
But it shows that you're able to, like, change. You're able to, like, find different outlets that work for you. Yeah. Some people I feel like are like, this is how we gonna do it. And I'm like, it's more than one way to skin a cow.
Yes, more than one way.
More than one way.
I had to learn this the hard way about noticing that I don't have to do it the way that other people do things. Like, if I can figure it out, like, why don't I do it? Why don't I do it that way? And it's so hard to keep that in mind, especially when I see other artists being successful by what they're doing. I'm like, God damn it, they're doing this real easy simple shit on fucking, why I can easily do the dumb shit real quick and then.
But here, this is a reoccurring thing for you. I'm sorry, this, because I know you and because we talk, and I've heard this before. Yes. Why?
I don't know. It's just how my head goes.
No, I'm not gonna say. I'm not. Let me say this. And how is their way getting them any faster than you?
No, because it doesn't last.
Okay.
It never lasts. I see it. I know. It's just...
Okay, but hold on. Did they start at the same time you started?
No.
Did they start for the same reasons you started?
No.
Okay. So they didn't start for the same reasons. They didn't start at the same time. And theirs is short-lived and yours is still going.
Yeah.
They should be comparing themselves to you. Why are you worried about that? They are yours. You are putting in time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then not even that. Like, you have to realize you're two states, 2 areas. You know, some people are like city known.
Yeah.
You can go to 2 different locations.
Yeah.
You can go other locations. You have connections in other places. I know.
Yeah.
You've told me multiple places. Cali.
Yeah.
Louisiana.
Yeah.
You can go back home.
Yeah.
Here. You know?
Yeah. I'm starting to make more moves now. Like I'm actually starting to apply like my worth out there, and I've always put it in my head like, Nick, why didn't you been do this? I didn't know before.
Yeah.
But now it's just like, oh, okay. I know I don't have as much. I don't have the plethora of people that I could go to, but I have enough people that know enough people that could send me through, and it's like that. So I'm like, I've always been afraid to ask shit.
But it's
I blame my daddy on that.
But you can't beat yourself up for what you don't know.
Yeah.
That's like the difference between ignorance and stupid. God is not gonna God gonna strike you down because you're ignorant. No, it's because you don't know.
Yeah.
But when you know and you choose not to do, like when you know better, you do better. When you know better and you don't do better, then it's like, all right, now I gotta punish you. You know what I'm saying? If my son go and touch the stove and he don't know that it's hot, and I'm like, oh baby, come here, let me, you know, I doctor up. But if I tell him multiple times and then he still go do it, like when he fell at the aquarium, I'm like, I ain't got nothing for you, buddy. I already told you. You whooping your own ass now. I told you plenty of times.
Right.
You know, it's the same thing. So you can't beat yourself up for what you didn't know. And then 2, your path is never gonna go as far as you want it to go if you keep looking at all the other paths that are like this long compared to yours.
Yeah, I keep trying. That's why I gradually like ease away from like social sites and shit. Like just for the fact that I know I post and go now, even though I'm not at that status to post and go. I don't want the other. I know I got homies and shit. They do music and all that, and they were like, man, I don't listen to the radio no more.
Yeah.
Like, what? It's like, yeah, man. I mean, I don't want to hear nobody else's shit. I make my own music. So that's. I just want to focus on that. I'm like, damn, but they got good music out. You ain't never heard of this thing.
But it's easy to go along with something when you keep hearing something. It's the same thing. You keep seeing something. It's easy to go along with it.
And that's one of the things that I had to pause everything and step back just so I can write. I can do more sillier poems. Like, more silly poems are coming out now just because I'm like, every time I would go to a show, I'd be like, damn, I want to do that now. Damn, I want to do a poem like that now. Or damn, I want to be that type of person. I'm like, nigga, just stay in your lane, son. You good. You just... You know, nigga, you the only one doing what you're doing. Yeah. Why you gotta be like these niggas? Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know.
You've literally created your own lane. It's because I could tell. Okay, I know what it is. I just figured it out. Thank you, Jesus. I just figured it out. It's because, okay, you are doing your own thing. You literally have created or, you know, jumped on, because I don't know if it was there before you got there, but as far as I know, you created it because I've never seen it before you, you know? So comedy poetry is your own thing, right? It's its own lane. Like I said, I've never seen anybody do it outside of you. So when you're in this lane that is so narrow, so many few people, or something that you created, it is very easy to compare yourself to other people because you don't have anybody to compare yourself to. You can't compare yourself to a comedic all the way because a comedic. Yeah, I did say that right. I was like, comedy, poetic. But you can't compare yourself to a comedic all the way because you do poetry. You can't compare yourself to a poet all the way because you do comedy. Yeah. And every time you talk to me and you be like, it's too much of this way. It's too much of this way. And like, you're trying to forge a path. And it's hard to forge a path when you don't have anyone to reference to. Yeah. So it's easy to compare yourself to all these things, but you're slowly, when you look at those other paths, don't look at what they're doing and you're not doing. Look at what you're doing and what you don't want to do. What is it about comedy that you like, I'm gonna throw some poetry in here? Yeah. What is it about poetry like, but it's not funny enough? Like those two things. Yeah. So if you gonna look and see how you could do things better or what made you not go completely 100% to that other side. Right. You know? But it is very hard. I'm pretty sure when Oprah got started, she was like, damn, who do I run to? You know? So, but now, like, people like, I'll be the next Oprah, like Jennifer Hudson, Tamar, whatever her name is, like, even Kelly Clarkson. Everybody got like a little show. Steve Harvey. Everybody's trying to be an Oprah. She forged the way, but she didn't have anybody to show her how to do that. Right.
Yeah. See, this is like my own little therapy sessions every time I come on here. And it's like, all right, how's Kyle going to try to make it today? Where's his journey going to take him? Oh, he's with a real therapist this time.
You are creating a time capsule.
Yes.
I love
That's
it.
That's exactly what it is.
I love it.
Yeah. Like, and when I get the video and shit together, whenever I get my studio together, then things are going to start to hype it up. I have a camera with me at all times, but I want the quality to be good. And I just don't want to jump in and just, I need to be stationary. Yeah. Basically for the video to come out because I can't just be everywhere.
So you're gonna make a nigga put clothes on.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't bring the piggy wiggies.
You bring the piggy wiggies. You definitely bring the piggy wiggies. Like it's gonna be at my place. And so like that ain't even like as long as people wanna come out to the sticks, then we gonna have a visual podcast. But other than that, I'm gonna be on the go with it because all this is too much for me to handle as one person.
I understand.
Like I got lights and everything I can set up just for actual
video.
Yeah, but I'm like, no, audio's good enough. Like my audio's like I got over 5,000 downloads now. I don't know how good that is compared to but I've been doing it for 3 years. Nice. So like it's still running, and then more people are like, nigga, can I get on your podcast? I'm like, what? Do you understand? I am looking for people, and you are asking. Yes.
Let me ask you a question. How often do you stop what you're doing and be like, I could be doing this? I know you be like, I could be doing this, or I'm not doing this, or I didn't know I could do this. How often do you stop and be like, damn, I'm doing a lot. Damn, this is not what it looked like a year ago.
Every Thursday now. Every Thursday. Yeah.
7 days out the week, I got one.
Every Thursday, one day. I have a recharge where me and my homie, we go to the woods and we smoke, and then that's where I stop and I think about everything. I'm like,
you should do that once a day.
Oh, okay.
I had to stop making. So I'm a planner.
Yeah,
I have a planner, and it's damn near like the next best thing to the Holy Bible. Like I follow it to the T, and I have lists inside of there and sticky notes and highlights and different colors and budgets and big calendars inside the planner and the day by day, the hour by hour. Whoa. With everything like links, where to go, addresses, phone numbers. Whoa. Yeah, I even got little stickies on there like day off, celebrate, like travel, little airplane stickers, everything like crazy, right?
Wow, that's organized.
Yes, very organized. And what's crazy is I had to stop making to-do lists. I would make to-do lists all the time. And
I have a lot of things to do.
Yeah. So I had to start making, I did that. I had to make a list for I did that. So I stopped making to-do lists because I would look like, damn, I still got so much stuff I didn't do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm like,
I got a whole whiteboard with shit that's just like, anxiety every time I look at it.
Erase it. I did that. I have I did that list. Every day I'm like, I check stuff off my planner, and then every day at the end of the day I'm like, I did this. I'm like,
oh, that's a better way to look forward to doing something.
Yeah, because you have to realize, like, man, look, there's 24 hours out the day. You're only up for maybe like 14 of them.
Hey, most of and 8 of them I'm working.
Man, and 8 of them you're working. You gonna eat for maybe 2.5 of them, 3 of them if you're doing it right. Then you're gonna like, well, then what? So that's how many hours?
Take a nap at some point in time in there.
Listen,
that never happens.
As a child, you run from them. As an adult, you run and trying to chase them.
Yeah, I want them so bad now.
Yeah.
I regret them every time I think about them.
Yes.
I'm like, oh shit.
Every time I
really wish
like,
I can get a nap right now.
You fighting that boy? Let me get that nap up off of you, son.
A nap could so go good. A nap with snack time.
Yeah,
give me a juice box and a mat.
I'm trying
out.
to tell you. Yes.
I'm out.
You gotta do it. I did that list. I stopped making to-do lists. I'm like, I did that. And then it lets you know, like, hey, man, I did enough. And enough is enough. And now...
My friends tell me that all the time. It's like, nigga, you do a lot. I'm like, do I do a lot? People keep saying, people keep saying, nigga, I see you all over. Do you see me all over?
Everywhere.
I don't feel it. I don't know why I don't feel the way that people see me. And it's just like, it fucks me up. I am like, are you... What? What are you seeing? What's the algorithm showing you that they're not telling me?
Look, I told you when we first started this podcast, why you don't see art? Why you don't see a masterpiece?
when I'm supposed to be the masterpiece, it could be because I always think about other people.
You're a masterpiece, but you can't master your piece.
I know. It takes work. I'm still chiseling away.
Yeah, before you become a masterpiece, I think you need to learn how to be an art critic. And the thing is, most people don't realize is people think an art critic goes and it's like, no, I don't like that. No, An art critic is not going looking for negative flaws in pieces. It's going to look for value in pieces. It's going to look for pieces that are going to sell, pieces that are going to make history, pieces that need to be in museums.
That's
like,
how I think about my poetry.
Yeah, they are out there telling the real from the fake. Like, nah, it's a copy.
Yeah,
that's not the real thing. Nah, no, I don't like that. No, I don't like that. No, that's an art critic. This has value. This needs to be in a gallery somewhere. This just hanging up in your house. Let's get you a show. An art critic is not, I mean, yeah, they could tell the negatives, but that's not what they're looking for.
I hope niggas is listening. They're listening. They're listening. They definitely know. Like, and you see where this goes. You always wonder, hey, what we gonna talk about? Don't worry, it's gonna happen.
It's gonna get there.
And it's like, oh shit, I didn't get my pad or a pen.
Yeah.
I need to write some of these down because oh boy, this is yes, yeah, all of that.
But yeah, you got to learn to be an art critic first. You're already the masterpiece, but just practice being the critic.
That's difficult. Whatever. I've always thought about others instead of about. Well, it's not that. I think about myself often, but I think about myself becoming better so I can help others.
Yeah.
Often. That's the only reason I want to better myself, just so I can be more stable to help everybody else.
Yeah,
that's what I want. And it makes me think about like if I let myself down or if I fuck up, I'm fucking up for the whole clan. And it's like, damn it, I'm putting a big burden on myself.
You put a lot of pressure.
These niggas don't even know it.
They don't know. They don't even know. Nigga, what? You thought about what?
You was doing this for me?
Yeah.
Like,
Didn't even know it. Didn't even know it. But if you think about like I used to think like that. But like I said, I'm very spiritual. So like I thought about it and like what you said is exactly true. Because it's like when you think about it, Jesus was here. They didn't even know that man was finna die for everybody. They didn't know. They didn't know he was finna die for our children. 200,000 years later, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody knew that, you know? So it's fine, but it's fine though. They don't have to know it. But when I thought about, and when I was in that place of like what you said, like it's hard to, you know, get to that space where like you see that in yourself. I had to get to that space when I realized like, you know what? I'm thinking that God and Jesus are these people who just are judging us, right? He's the judge. He's the end all be all, you know? Mm-hmm. He's judging right from wrong. But he already know right from wrong. And I already know that I'm going to fall short, right? Yeah. And I was like, dang, like that's how I'm viewing it. Like that's kind of a fucked up way to view it, you know? And I don't know how everybody else talk to God, but I talk to God like I talk to myself, you know? Yeah. And I had to realize like, dang, when I realized there's a piece in the Bible that said basically like your works are basically like they're not going to sum up. And I was like, damn, like there's no work that I can do to earn God's love or to earn a place in heaven. You know, and I was like, shit, well, I'm doing all this for what? For these niggas? These niggas don't even know. I'm trying to bring them out the gutter. You know what I'm saying? I'm barely out the gutter. Right. You know, and I'm like, like, what am I doing? So you tell me all this for nothing, Jesus? Like, I was like, Jesus, really? Like, there's nothing I can do. Like, my works will never measure up. They'll never compare to what Jesus did. Like, you know, and I got to this place and I was like, so what we doing? You know, like, so what we doing? And then I didn't realize until I had my own kid, like, you know, like, I love you because I love you. I'm gonna let you in the house because I want you in the house because this is our house. Yeah. You know, like this is for us. You came from me, therefore you inherit this. You know, like this is yours. Yeah. I love you regardless what your actions will never add up and it'll never be enough because God damn it, I love you through all that shit because I know you finna do it in the first place because you don't know no better. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know no better. And when I show you better, then I'm gonna expect more out of you. And if you don't do better, I'm gonna be disappointed in you, but I'm gonna still give you more chances because I love you. Like we family, like I rock with you. And when I had to think about it like that, because in my mind, God a hood nigga. I'm a hood nigga.
I like that. I like that God. That's a cool God. Right
yeah, because it said he came from Nazareth.
I was gonna say either that guy got cornrows or he probably got locks. He
got locks. I think he had locks. Yeah. But he said, you know, it said, what good thing can come from Nazareth? I was like, oh, he was from the hood. They said, what good thing can come from the hood? Jesus came from the hood. God was a hood nigga. Ooh. And he was a carpenter. That means he was stealing copper out of people's houses, right?
What? Carpentry is wood.
I'm just playing.
That is a possibility. Because if you want to, you're in people's houses, you know where the copper's at. Yeah. Hey, but that is true.
Yeah, I'm just being funny.
I like that funny though.
I'm being funny.
That's a construction humor. Oh, everybody on the construction side is laughing right now. It's like, oh, she good. Okay,
but I
see where she went with that.
I just had to realize like I'm putting so much pressure on myself. And it ain't even like that. Yeah. It ain't even like that. Yeah. It's just love because it's love. You know, you go home. Everybody got that one. I don't know about you, but I got that one crackhead uncle. Everybody got that one crackhead family member.
I don't have many members of the family. I got like 5 other uncles. Well, on the other side of the family,
you just one crackhead uncle. Side,
man,
one crackhead family member. Period.
Yeah, no, you know, I know. Yeah,
you got certain members in your family. You be like, you know, like, yeah. But you know, when they come,
I got some crackhead friends. Yeah, that's weird to see.
That's close.
Yeah,
a little close to you.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa, bitch, we used to play kickball. Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah. Or you
grew up with Dare.
Everybody got that one family member that, you know, they got like a mental illness going on. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm like, yeah, don't take nothing they say to heart. And, you know,
I got one that talked to demons.
Yeah.
And she would whisper when she would sit down. That was weird. Oh, yeah. She would rock back and forth. Like
everybody got that one family member that has like, you know, like IDD. And, you know, like I had a family member.
What is IDD?
Intellectual developmental disabilities.
Oh,
so like,
shit.
You know, like a developmental disability.
Yeah. So,
you know, I had a relative that was, you know, that had an ID disability, and that nigga would cuss everybody out, and it was, you know, like
schizophrenia.
No. IDD, like mental hold on, wait. Like IDD, like Down syndrome, mental retardation, things like that. You know. So we say IDD because
that's a good way to put it too.
Yeah, because sometimes when you say the actual diagnosis, it can be offensive to some people.
Yeah,
and so you say people with IDD. So the developmental disability or delays.
Some people like to say "talked," or some people like to say the R word.
Yes, the R word is frowned upon. We don't say that no more.
Nobody says the R word.
We don't say the R word no more.
That's good.
Yeah.
IDD is. I knew where you were going, but I just wanted you to explain it deeper.
Yeah.
Just so we can get to that point now.
Yeah.
IDD.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, and I'm from the country. Black families, we say that baby touched by the hands of God. You're like, that baby touched.
Yeah, see, Texas
God
is a bit different.
Yeah,
because Texas says everything still.
Oh yeah, no, we don't say those words.
They go all across the board. I'm like, damn, Texas, y'all didn't get the memo.
So I got a question for you. How do you feel about the way things are going as far as like what you can and cannot say in poetry or as a performer, as like a public figure? Because I've been doing a lot of community events. I do a lot of work, mental health. I do a lot of poetry. I've just gotten like my hand in like hosting events and things like that. And people always come to me and be like, well, how do you feel about what you can and can't say? And
what can you not say?
You know how they say stuff like, you'll get, what did they say? You got canceled. That's what it is. Like you get canceled, or Black Twitter went crazy,
So the cancelable offenses, I really try to steer clear of just anything that could be in the realm of that, comedy and poetry wise, just so I don't even have to think about it. Like, so when it comes to things that, because some people like to dive into it.
Oh yeah,
and I'm like, I don't want to stir the bee's nest.
Yeah.
Like, I get what's happening. I don't care for it because I come from an era where, it just seems like words are words, and I've always been a person to
Thank you.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That was my era. And I'm like, I've always been a small person, so I've gotten picked on a lot. And now that, people have a voice and they can stand out, like, oh, we can stop being picked on now. It's like, okay, I mean, kids are going to be kids. Motherfuckers are going to say shit. I was just taught to fight back. Not fight back, but verbally be able to, talk my way out of things. I've always was able to talk my way out of things.
I feel like we're in a culture now where you can't talk about certain things. Yeah. We're in a culture now where you have to be very censored.
The world is coddled. And
I won't say coddled.
I've been saying it like that for a minute.
I feel like the world is almost so I got a sister. Shout out to Tootie.
Shout outs
to Tootie. So I got a sister named Tootie, and we call her Technical Tootie. Cause everything she's like, well, technically it's this and this and this and this, and technically that. And, well, you said this, but technically, so we call her Technical Tootie. I feel like the world is like very like Technical Tootie. It's very legalities right now, like a lot of legalities. Like you say this, and you have to be so very concise and so well thought out about what you're going to say. And you have to be well versed because somebody's going to take it and they're going to try to use it against you legally. Like, well, she said this and technically this word means this, so that means that she implied this. And since I also work for the legal system, they'll say like, oh, well, yeah, y'all got into a fight, but did it cause you harm or injury or suffering? If it caused you harm or injury or suffering, then that person can be charged.
Myself, when it comes to like actually the canceling of the cultures now.
Yes.
I kind of like to toe the line, just because it's more of like a puzzle. Like, just because there's certain things that you can and cannot say now. So it's like, okay, all right, so how would I go about, not saying that I want to say certain things, just go about like being in a realm of saying
safe.
What you would like. Yeah, being in a realm of staying safe. Like, I want to talk about what I want to talk about, but the way I have to talk about it is going to be different now.
Exactly.
But what's going to make it the funniest way that I can talk about it, because I want to say it without offending everybody.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about offending someone. And I'm not going to say that the world is coddled, because to offend someone, they have to take offense to it. They have to take offense. So I could say something to you that I want to be offensive. Like, I like, you know, your feet stink, and I don't like your glasses, or, you know, whatever I can think of, you know, like, and I'm just making that up, you know, for the people that's not real right now. But I could say whatever I wanted to hurt your feelings. And if you be like, so? Right. Then it's not offensive, right? You know. So if it comes down to like the person, like, do you know the person that's in front of you? Because as a therapist, we have to face this every day. You know, like, do I know the person in front of me? No, I don't. You know, and even it don't matter if you could be with me for months, I still don't know you. You know, because you might not even know yourself. You know, so it's like it comes down to like, if I don't know you, and if I have to think about it, like, is this going to come off as offensive? Right. I usually don't even say it. I leave it to myself, because I'm like, nope, because you can defend something all day long, but if they took offense to it, then it's offensive. If they don't, then it don't matter. A lot of people, a lot of my family members used to be like, oh, you're so disrespectful to your mother. But me and my mother I've never disrespected my mother. My mother doesn't think that I'm disrespectful, but it's because the way we talk to each other. I cuss around her.
Yeah, other people find it. Other people see it as offensive, but
they
see it as, this is just how we are.
They say it's too personal. And I'm like, but she's my parent. That doesn't mean, like, I'm never supposed to get close to her. It's always supposed to be a formal versus a familiar. And my mother's the kind of person, like, say whatever you want to say. I'm not going to get caught up in the mess. I'm trying to hear the message, you know? Yeah, right. So it's the same thing, but like, I know I could come to her and I could say whatever it is that's in my head and let it fly, and I would never ever even think to disrespect her. Like, I would never cuss at her. No. Yeah, you know, right. And like, she, you know, she the same to me. She knows things that I feel like is disrespectful.
And the thing is, I love getting on board with things. It is just like, I don't like that. If you do get on board with it, understand getting on board is going to take time. It's going to take time for the rest of the world to be hip to game. Yeah. Like, so you can't get upset because people haven't, you know, people can't get upset because other people still haven't gotten hip to the changes. There's been so many changes in the world. There have been so many add-ons. There have been so many new things. Don't think that the old motherfuckers gonna ever get it. Yeah. They're not gonna ever get it.
But it doesn't even matter. Everybody doesn't have to jump on every cause. And it
seems like people should.
I'm the kind of person where I'm like, man, there's other stuff we could worry about than worried about what every word that a person is saying.
Every word. You know? Come on. Like, really. I've had this situation that I ran into where I didn't know a person's pronoun, which was understandable on my part.
How can you know?
How can you know?
How can I just met you? I don't know you.
It wasn't even that. It was like this. A friend was telling me, they was like, the band over there is playing, and I was like, oh, okay, who's the band and where is it? What's the band? What's happening? And he's like, and they over there. I was like, what?
Like, is it one days or many days?
I was like, yeah, it fucked me up. I was like, wait.
I swear, Dave Chappelle said that. I've been dying ever since.
I was like, wait, there's just one. Wait, they the band? Yeah. Like, I thought the band was the name of the band. Yeah. It fucked me all the way up, and this person got mad at me, and I'm like, yo, you can't know. So I didn't know. This.
I'm trying to figure out.
I'm legitimately trying to ask you, like, who they. She's like, don't fucking be like that. I'm like, seriously, like, no joke. Like, I
don't know what we're talking about.
Like, my English is real good. Like,
when you say a band, it means multiple people. You're saying that means multiple people. Right. I'm not trying to offend you, because you prefer as one person to be called a pronoun that signifies multiple genders.
Oh, it fucked me up. And I was like, I get why you're mad, but understand, like, I don't.
My thing is this:
you should not be mad at
no,
this.
here's my thing. Because when somebody is hurt or someone is mad, and I say this in therapy often, you do not, as the offender, have the right to tell that person that they don't have the right to be offended, or that's not a good reason for you to be offended, you know? But what I will say is this: you also have to check yourself. Just because you've been offended intentionally so many times doesn't mean you carry that on to every person. You know, if you say, hey, no, I, as one person, prefer to be identified as they, you know, versus a solitary he or she, you know, like, you know, and you explain that to a person, and then it's kind of like ignorance versus stupidity. If I tell you, if you don't know, I can't be mad that you don't know,
right?
You know, and I can't just assume that you're trying to offend me just because so many people have done it before.
Right.
You know, and then if it is not your culture, I can't be upset that it is taking you a while to understand the rules and the expectations of how my culture works, right? So you can't be mad that it takes me a while to understand that they can mean one person. When you go to school for 12 years, kindergarten through 12th grade, and they saying they is many people,
right?
You know, and it's never been a construct of gender, you know. And then it's kind of like my second language is sign language, right? ASL. Yeah. And so I tell people often, like, they'll be like, oh, slow down. And I'm like, oh, okay, hey, look, you know, because we could talk. I'm like, we're talking and I'm gonna slow down. But if you ever get around like a hearing impaired person, it's considered rude in their culture to ask them to slow down. Like it's offensive. And they were like, why? And I'm like, because it just is, you know, like you just ask them to repeat it and you keep saying again, or say it again, like so many times, they'll eventually slow down. You know, if you say, hey, I'm just learning, I'm still practicing, you know, I want to get better, things like that, they'll naturally slow down. But it's apparently I don't know why it's offensive, but it's offensive. Just like in sign language, it's not offensive for you to say like fat, or, you know, things like that, or like a black person, a white person, a fat person, a skinny person, a bald-headed man, you know, whatever, because
you're being direct. You're being to the point.
Well, it's because the syntax and the structure of their sentences is topic, conversation, you know, comment, topic, comment. Okay. So it's like, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, that man right there. And they'll be like, oh, which one? So I showed you my topic, a man in the crowd. Oh, which one? My comment is, I'm going to describe it before I give you my comment. Oh, the man with the curly hair, the ponytail, and he's got on black pants, blah, 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 blah. He's kind of fat and he's got a mustache and glasses, you know?
Like
so,
playing,
it's because you're trying to identify who you're talking about. If you can't hear, you know, you can't say, oh, you can say he's really loud, but they can't hear. So you have to describe what you're looking at first before you tell them what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, he's talking about this right now, and that other girl, she looks like this. So now I can make my comments now. You know who I'm talking about.
Do people, they probably don't, but I'm going to ask this question anyway. Do people that sign, do they point?
Yeah, all the time.
At what they're trying to describe?
Oh, yeah.
Like with their finger out?
Yeah, like that person. That's not rude either. Be like, that man, him. You don't see him? You don't see him?
Thank you. Yeah. I don't see it as rude either.
No.
But, you know, certain people do.
It can be rude, like when my son, like I feel like when kids do it's rude.
Yeah, you know, I've done that as a little kid.
What them doing?
Yeah, it was like, oh, mama, look, that man has miracle ear. You know, miracle ear, the little hearing aids for old people. Yeah, they used to be big and clunky as shit.
I remember the little the little slip phones they had. It was like the
echoes
crickets.
Or the crickets.
Not the crickets. What were they called?
Man, what were them little big ass phones?
They were
called?
Huge and they were so loud.
Big old numbers. Oh, they were loud.
And they were loud with big numbers. Yes.
Yeah. Oh shit! All right. Oh man, we've been on this thing from shit. So, man, before we get out of here, man, because this has been good. I don't even know if we ended what the hell we was talking about. It don't even matter. I had a good time. I got a lot of knowledge going in just now, and I soaked it up. I soaked it all up. I'm a sponge over here. This is what this should be. Fucking Tell me a joke. I'm a sponge. Nigga.
Tell me a joke. I got a joke since you're a comedian. Okay. I've been saving it for you.
Have you?
Yeah, I've been saving it for you.
Let me hear it. Mr. Ha.
Okay, so this is how we're gonna end it.
Oh, we have a game of choices, but please tell me your joke.
Okay.
Joke.
Why did the duck go to jail? He was smoking quack. He was smoking quack.
Oh my God. All right. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like a Bill joke or some shit like that. That took a different route. All right. That made me that one got me. That one caught me off guard. That was silly as shit. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
I always think about it. I'm like, he's so fun. I'm gonna think of a joke every time I see you now.
That got me. That tickled the inside just now. That was fucking good. All right.
I've been saving that one.
Okay. All right. We got a game of choices that I play with everybody new before you got here.
Oh, it's a real game.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
So you got a game of choices. You got 4 options and 4 choices. All right. Now your options are your choices are your options are, and I never know how that's supposed to go. Choices and options are kind of the same thing.
Okay.
You know, but still, you get it. Just anyway.
Your options are you choose which one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. You gotta be one. You gotta raise one. Okay. You gotta sell one of them. And you gotta fuck one of them. All right?
You gotta be one, raise one, sell one, fuck one.
Right.
Sell it.
Yeah, sell it.
Okay.
Yeah, and then your options or your choices, your choices are mermaid, Mogwai, Mexican, and a manatee.
Okay. What the fuck is a Mogwai?
A Mogwai is Gizmo. You remember Gizmo?
How did you know I was gonna ask that?
Everybody does. Everybody always. Only the like true really nerds understand what a Mogwai is.
A Mogwai. If you would have said like a Wookiee or something, like
or Ewok
nigga,
or
the
something.
Wookiee. Fuck
You with
the
your
Wookiee.
Jar Jar Banks fan?
Yes, I am actually.
Yeah.
Look at this bracelet. Limited edition Star Wars, baby. Okay. I'm sorry. What is a Mogwai?
A Mogwai is Gizmo. You remember Gizmo from Gremlins?
No.
Okay.
It's a gremlin?
Yeah. You remember Gremlins?
Oh.
Remember the movie Gremlins?
The cute version or like
Yeah,
the gremlin?
no, not the gremlin. Gizmo himself was the Mogwai. After you get it, like you feed it after midnight and shit.
Then it turned.
Then it turns into a gremlin.
Do you think he would fuck good though?
The gremlin?
Yeah.
Possibly. It's magical.
Like cuddle with it after, before midnight, after midnight.
That's the first time everybody ever asked that question when it came pertaining to that. But it has got weird. So
I kind of feel like it would like bite my nipple.
It is a possibility that it is a good love. A
good love interest.
Yes. It would be a good sex companion. Get in the little crevices.
Gross.
Yeah. It's gotten grosser. So,
a Mogwai.
Yeah.
A manatee, a mermaid.
Yeah, and a Mexican. Yeah, be one, raise one, sell one, fuck one.
Oh, be one?
Be one of them. Yeah, you got to be one of them.
And a manador?
A manatee?
A manatee, like the seal?
Yeah.
Like the cousin of the seal?
Yeah. Yeah, in that area, in that realm. The ones from the Florida mangroves that are endangered.
Okay, they're endangered?
Yeah, they've been endangered for a long. They might not be endangered anymore, but for the longest
time.
Them
niggas gone?
They were endangered.
Okay, no, they're endangered.
The sea cow. People always thought they were.
Aren't they the ones that float in like the rivers and like the clear rivers and like white? Oh, those are beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, I know a manatee. I know where they live and everything. Oh wow, I'd be a manatee.
You'd be a manatee.
Yeah,
okay.
because it'd be acceptable to be like fat and just kind of like
just lounge around.
And they're beautiful.
Just eat.
And they're clear water.
Yeah.
People literally just go to swim with them. That's kind of dope. I'd be a manatee. I would raise. I'm being very judged right now.
No, go ahead.
I'm definitely gonna fuck the Mogwai. I'm definitely gonna get the Mogwai.
Mexican Mogwai. Okay, manatee fucking the Mogwai.
I already gave the Mogwai thing. I have the fear of like the biting my nipple thing, but
if you're a manatee, you're gonna have so many nipples.
I liked this guy in high school or middle school, and he had like some really like jacked up teeth, like, you know, like they look like nesting blocks or Jenga when you had some of the pieces sticking out. That's what they look like. And he used to try to kiss my neck, and it felt like a little gremlin on my neck. I was like, no, stop, you gotta stop now. But anyways, so I have that fear as far as fucking the Magua.
Yeah. No, it has. I'll show you a picture of it just so you understand.
They're cute.
Yeah. Oh, you do understand how the adorable is. I don't think it even.
I didn't know the
teeth.
name. I just called them all gremlins.
Oh.
So I'd fuck a Magua.
Okay.
I'd be a manatee because they just look like they have a very peaceful life.
And when a Magua gets wet, it makes other Maguas.
That's what happened to me.
Okay.
I got a little gremlin running through the face.
Zang. That's awesome. It's a good one.
I'm sorry. Shit. Okay. And then the mermaid and the Mexican. I'd sell the mermaid, yo, and I'd raise a Mexican.
Okay.
Because then I could do the buchata every day, like, you know, like.
All right. Well, depending on how good this manatee dances in water, since you are the manatee.
Oh, damn! Wait.
I mean, it can definitely just do the. You know.
Mermaids freak me out though. Everybody is obsessed with like mermaids and unicorns. I'm definitely
depending on what type of mermaid you're talking about.
I always think of sirens. I never think of like Ariel.
But you never think of Jason Momoa?
No, I think of an Aquaman, but that's not a mermaid. He's Aquaman.
He's still a mermaid though.
No.
Yeah, they're still living in the water. He got gills and everything.
He's a mystical god, actually.
Oh. It's like
he's a god,
but I mean, he's got brothers and they ain't gods. Well, I mean, I guess they would be.
But they're sirens. You saw them do like their little.
He's the king of the sea.
Yeah,
he's not a god. Poseidon's the god.
I don't fuck with mermaids.
Yeah, I feel you.
I don't even like when you go to like beaches. They be trying to eat them little coconut shell titties. I'm like, no, thank you.
I want a fancy sea horse.
No, just let my titties hang. Fuck that. Coconuts.
That's how it's gonna be.
What? No. Manatees just be hanging.
They just do be chilling.
Chilling.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you can definitely la cucaracha inside the water.
La cucaracha. No.
You can Macarena. You can teach her. You can definitely Macarena. Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
You know.
So yeah, sell the mermaid because the fuck.
Right, that's money though.
Yeah,
that's money.
I'd raise a Mexican, because I also know a little Spanish.
But if this is a Pixar movie, you got legs and you're walking around as a manatee anyway, or like Zootopia. Or
this
something
is
like
very
that,
true.
You know, so
very true.
Boom,
very
that's a
true.
different way to look at it. Ooh, you took me on a different route. So, man, I tell people every time, man. I've done this so many times. It's always different every time. It's like everybody got their own little fingerprint. Whenever I ask them this.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I like it.
I'm
I
cool
like
with
it. That is a different.
So has anybody else ever gave you that little lineup before?
I don't think anybody has ever wanted to be the manatee. I think maybe one person has. I would have to get out.
But I got a lot of peace. And I just think I would like to keep that going on.
That's that mix right there. That's like I didn't. Now thinking about it like as a Zootopia life, like now I get to think about it in that aspect. Yeah. Somebody had opened my eyes about something different last time, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool to think about it." But now I get to think about it like this, like, "Oh, they're all cartoon people."
Anybody else ever say they want to fuck the Magua?
Yes.
Oh, see, they some nasty ones.
Yeah.
What's their name?
Being a mermaid. I think.
Don't tell me.
I want to be able to think. I want to say I can pinpoint who the fuck it was too, but
oh god,
I can't remember.
And like instantly, like when you told me, I was like, oh fuck that one. Yeah, fuck it. That sounds crazy. Yeah. Especially when they be like charging up at midnight and they be like,
oh, there's gonna be
shaking
plenty.
and going.
There's gonna be plenty.
I'm like, oh,
I'll
be like, oh, this shit finna get crazy.
Snow White situation. If you get this little fucker wet, so lots of them will be around.
Oh my god!
Just don't feed them after midnight, and they'll stay cute.
I'm just saying, I did little gremlins. I got attitude too. That's cool.
I mean, but they had that one female gremlin that was like,
and she had the lipstick on.
Yeah, with the lashes. Oh my goodness, those lashes. And that's what they be looking like with these lashes on. I'm like, you look just like that gremlin with the big ass lashes.
I can't.
That bright color that don't fit you. That's a color that never used. But hey, teach their own. I love the way the world's going.
You can't get jiggy with a lot of makeup.
No, I don't mind makeup.
I don't wear a lot. My mom used to tell me makeup is to enhance the beauty you already have, not cover it up.
What I don't care for is for you to make yourself up to where it looks like you got a floating head, to where they don't contour the shadow. I'm like, you need to work on your shadowing, baby. Yeah, baby, your neck, where your neck and your throat meet is fucking me up right now.
Baby.
I see the perspective. I know about art, and what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
It's got an illusion going on, and it's fucking me up. And also, your cheeks don't do that. I know they don't. Like the whole contour is too high. Man. I'm like, when people can do it, this shit looks amazing.
Yeah,
I do enjoy.
But when they do it, it looks natural.
Yeah. I do it. I do enjoy a good makeup tutorial. Like it'll catch me.
You still be giving me with eyebrows. God, where the fuck is you going with them eyebrows?
My ex used to do that for the longest in the mirror, and it would drive me because I'm like, yo, we had to leave 30 minutes ago,
and them eyebrows still not meeting.
You still like, you gonna mess up the symmetry if you keep razoring this left one here compared to the right one. Just give it up.
It's let it go.
Like you're gonna have just you got give the people an eyebrow for the rest of the night. That's all you need. That's how everybody likes to rock.
Yeah.
Just boom. Can you smell? There you go. And if you shaved it that way, just come on, we gotta go. We can't fix it now.
I got a message for you to deliver to the men.
Okay.
We don't like seeing y'all in y'all cars picking y'all nose.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How many people have you seen doing
It's a common thing for men.
Oh, is this a Texas thing? I see a lot of people out in Texas just get in there. No, not even give a fuck though.
Nothing.
Like you ain't even gonna turn around to do it.
Man.
You will hear in my face, like, yeah, and so when and I'm like, yo, son, what you doing? Like, bitch, I'm about to touch the same shit you about to touch.
Right.
Like, what do we? Like, why you all up in your nostril right now? Then you get a napkin or blow that shit somewhere. And I don't care for a snot rocket.
Why you ain't got a napkin or a tissue? I'm like,
something.
In my mind, I'm like, so you just gonna raw dog it?
You just gonna be
you
right
gonna
here,
raw dog it?
right here at the picnic table?
Oh,
you just,
God.
we
see you as women. We see y'all.
And I don't think people care though. Out here, I don't think they care.
That's a level of I don't give a fuck that I'm not trying to get to.
It is very strange.
I feel like people want to get offended by like, you fucked up my pronouns that you didn't even know to begin with, but I don't give a fuck if you mad that I picked my nose right here in the middle of our conversation. I'd be like, what?
Yeah, I feel rude. I feel as if it was rude. It's like, you're not paying attention to me. Like, why are you?
Yeah.
Why are you in your nose like right now? You don't want to excuse yourself? Like,
yeah.
I don't
know.
Like, that's not even a normal thing that.
When you say things that are like offensive, like I'll be like, oh, pronouns. I'm like, that's I don't even know your name. Why are you mad that I don't know your pronouns?
Excuse
I'm like,
me.
can you introduce yourself to me first? But like when I say stuff, I'm like, I could really say some stuff that is like controversial, or at least feels controversial to me. I'm like, I think it's very controversial that a lot of people eat in living rooms and don't eat at tables.
Oh, you're gonna start some shit.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, y'all worried about pronouns. I'm like, people don't even have family dinners. Like, people don't even eat together. I think it's controversial that people, if they do eat together, they still have like, if we're eating out, even my friends, they know, hey, like, we going out. Why you got your phone out? Why are you on your phone? Like, why are we watching TV? I couldn't tell you the last
time I ate at a dining room table.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, or if
the world is changing. Oof.
This thing, I just feel like there's other stuff we can worry about. That's
the world
me,
moves to the beat of just one drum. Which might be right for you, might not be right for some. All right. Different strokes, goddamn it. All right.
You got.
Well, this is so we don't carry on with this because, man, it seems like we can just tell people about the future forever.
I know. Sorry, you got us some outro music. You brought us in. You got some.
And that has been the cast, everybody. God damn it. Well, Tyja Compton, let everybody know where they can find you at.
Yes, you can find me on Instagram at Heart4Kaden. That's the @ HEART, the number 4, KAIDEN. Poetic Journey is the name. At Heart4Kaden is where you can build my fame.
Boom. There it is. Oh, I like that. I like that. All right, everybody. Oh, clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Clap it up. Yes. And this has been Tell Me a Joke, the guy that chasing the dream. I'm your host of Maniacal, Kyle Smith. Said the whole thing like a pimp named Slickback. You can go ahead and find me at tellmeajokeo@gmail.com. Email me. They never do. Like, share, and subscribe. I never tell them that at the beginning. It never happens. But my shit has been building because I've been doing some shit. But, man, check me out, man. Check my dates. Go to maniacalwinners.com and y'all have a good night. Until next time, keep dreaming, jokers.
Yeah, I like it.